I was interviewing Professor Silvio Macaulay of Algorand from MIT, who basically invented zero knowledge proofs. And he said he's from Sicily. He's like, Brian, you and I know that the teacher learns more from the student than the student learns from the teacher. And he's right. You really do learn a lot from teaching people. And your mastermind looks really cool, by the way. And people can apply for that, I know, on your website. And that's happening, I think, in April in Miami.
Yeah, go to jordanbelfort.com. Yeah.
And it's 2 days with you, and it looks pretty, really, really cool. Yeah, I mean, moving forward, the metaverse looks massively exciting. Obviously, you said it really clear here. People ultimately, you have to sell someone an idea, whether you're a crypto company, and I think crypto is one part tech, one part marketing, one part politics somehow. And you could have the greatest platform in the world, but if it's not marketed right, it won't blow up. And we've kind of seen that out there. So
100%.
I'd say everyone's got to get used to kind of closing and selling. Jordan, a lot of people know you from the movie, and it was an incredible movie. I know you spent a lot of time with Leonardo training him up to be you. But what they see in that movie is a lot of excess. But what we see now with Jordan Belfort is almost the opposite of that. You're a pretty sober guy. I just met your amazing wife here, and you live a very different life that seems to make you very happy. How do you explain that to people where they say, well, we heard about this one Jordan, which, by the way, the movie wasn't anywhere near the half of it, from what you've told me.
It's not worse, yeah.
Versus now, where you seem, sober, monogamous, focused. How do those two worlds exist in the same guy, and what do you tell young kids about that?
I think, let me say, broadly speaking, the things that make sense when you're 25 don't make nearly as much sense when you're 55.
Amen.
Right?
Amen.
I'd be dead if I kept going like that. So, listen, fortunately, I've, financially been able to rebuild my life and get back to an amazing place. So I still am able to live that amazing over-the-top financial lifestyle, which is great. I love that. I love nice things. I love flying in private planes and living on the water, and love having a giant boat and all those things that are fun, right? But I'm not out there banging prostitutes 5 a night and, smoking crack and, eating Quaaludes and doing all the stuff that's like unsustainable. And, I always say, when you watch The Wolf of Wall Street, it's fun to watch, but to live it was not quite as fun. Everything's okay in moderation. Right. So if you're young and you want to make a lot of money and live a wild life, there's nothing wrong with that. And you probably should get some of that out of your system. But at a certain point, if you're not growing, you're dying. And in my case, if I didn't grow as a human being and mature and start to live a more sober, and it's the right word, is a sober life. And that doesn't always mean not ever using a drug or taking a drink, because I do drink, but it's all done in control, and business and family and my own health comes first, and I'm far happier today than I ever was, and have a much better life.
And you don't regret any of that stuff you did in the past? That was something you did at the time. You got it out of your system. Like you said, it's much more fun to watch than actually do, is what you said, right?
Well, listen, I'll tell you this. People say, oh, Marty Scorsese glamorized drugs and all. No, it's just fucking glamorous. He didn't glamorize it. It's just glamorous. Like, it's fun as shit. I'm not saying it's not fun. It was fun. It was fun dancing like on 50 people on a yacht and fucking going all over the world and living just buying anything you wanted. Just all great. But the drugs were like a part of it that was dark and evil. And, that excess drug use never ends well. Whether you're a rock star or a financial rock star, it doesn't matter what you are, it doesn't end well. I'm not saying don't do drugs. It's a personal decision, and there's nothing wrong with everything in moderation. But that aspect was what destroyed me. And also a lot of the illegal things I did because my judgment was impaired because of drugs. And, I probably would have not done many of the things I did if I was sober. And as you also say, you learn from your mistakes. So I've become a better version, hopefully not my best version yet, but I'm hopefully heading there, of myself.
Is this like all part of the journey, you think, of Jordan Belfort's life? I mean, was all that stuff supposed to happen to get you to where you are today?
I think so. And I also think that I think the best is definitely yet to come. I'm involved in a bunch of companies right now that I'll tell you, like, I have to get really unlucky right now for a few of these things not to really become just massively, disruptive companies, or certainly huge brands and elevating my own brand as well. So I think that, and then for me, that just sort of increases my platform to empower people even more. It's been an interesting few years with COVID. We've both been through, a complete upheaval of the normal system of communicating with people. You've been persecuted for no good reason. I was very mild because I was not, you were, I would say, braver than me, or maybe just had stronger opinions than I did about some of this stuff. But now we're back in a world, I think it's coming out of this shit, hopefully. And I just think the more successful I become, the more it validates the things I teach, and the more attention it brings to my brand, the more people I can empower. And I think that I really am just scratching the surface of my ability to help and empower people around the world.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I mean, people can really feel it. Like, you really, I don't know, Jordan, I feel the last couple of years, you really want to help people. Like, you're out there, like, this is what you're going to do. And I can feel it seeping through you, and it feels like there's a lot coming from you going forward.
Yeah, well, I think that I'm poised right now for a really good few years. And I think, as you said, like, I was late to the game of crypto, but I'm not sorry about that. I think that it makes my position now that much more legitimate. That I didn't just jump on some bandwagon because everyone was making, I could have made a fortune back then promoting Bitcoin, but it just shows you that I really stuck to my gut of what I really believed in. And also to think, why'd you change? Of course I could change my mind. People change their mind about things every day. My mind is never made up forever. You receive new information and you keep changing your opinions based on the information you receive. And, who knows what the future brings. But, I think that where I am right now in terms of crypto and Bitcoin is a result of just a tacit belief that this is going to be a massive future. It's literally going to be disruptive to everything, the way we live, the way we spend money, the way we travel. And I think we're only seeing the tip of blockchain technology right now.
Is everything you're involved in somehow blockchain related? And what does your life look like in 10 years if everything goes the way you want it to?
Yeah. Not at all. No, I one of my most promising investments is in a company called Montauk Iced Tea. So it's an iced tea brand that just literally just hit it. And like when a brand like that hits hard, it hits so hard, it can grow so fast. So I'm in this like log growth phase right now with a company that I got into very, very early on. I was vacationing in Montauk, and short story, I got involved with the company, got a significant position in the company. And the brand, it's just amazing iced tea in glass bottles. Everything is right. It just took off, and we'll probably hopefully do 10 million plus this year, 50 million next year, and then you're a $1 billion company in that sector. So I think that's one that is just completely unrelated to blockchain. And I have others also not blockchain related, but right now the hot money, the ingenuity is flowing into this space. So you just see so many more deals in that space, but I'm not in any way limited to that.